Guys, it is Friday evening, and you guys got a day off from me and Zach. I hope you enjoyed the video yesterday. It is Rick with Flip with Rick, and it's Friday evening. And I actually really enjoy these because um, I love spending time with Zach. And you guys know you get to see Zach a few times a week, and then you kind of get me solo. So, those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Rick, aka Dad. I am the Rick in Flip with Rick. And I taught my son at the age of actually 17 to be completely self sufficient while he was in high school, flipping properties through wholesaling. Made 100 grand in 90 days. And kind of the rest is history. That was 5 years ago. So, full disclosure, I used to teach courses and do everything back. I stopped in 2014 because I saw a shift in the industry. And the really cool thing about this channel is there is nothing for sale here. So I'll never ask you for your credit card. I'm never going to bait you in the funnel. If I use the word free, it actually means free. So if you do not believe me, or you think I'm like punking you, use the chat column. Everyone will verify what we do. Guys, if you put your comments in there, let us know what market you're from. If you have any questions, we are going to talk about direct mail today, and I'm going to really educate you. I'm going to show you how you guys kind of been tricked in the direct mail and why most of you are scared of it, and I'm going to get you to overcome it. But most of all, we're going to educate you. So if you have a fear or a curiosity about direct mail, I'm going to show you how it works, what you need to use today to be effective in wholesaling. Today, what is Rick and Zach using to make all this money in wholesaling? Well, I'm just going to give it to you. Okay. A good story is when I developed so I got 20 years in direct mail and I'm really good at it. And if you guys want to go back to old school, I did the handwritten postcard, and it was so wildly successful that I got duped by every major guru in the industry. And I just decided I'm not going to fight it. It's a form of flattery, and I move on. So I know a lot of people watching, they follow what I do. So me and Zach decide just to give everything away for free. So everything I'm going to show you today is 100% free, and I'll show you where to go and get everything on it. And direct mail is interesting. So I started out doing it because back in 03, when I started 04, that's all we really had. Like we had that and door knocking. So I was really good at both of them. And that's the anchor of my business. And then obviously we would bring in the modern day technology. I love cold calling, SMS, you name it, I do it. So before you get started, number one, we like to have fun at wholesaling here. As I said, if you're going to do something in life and you can't enjoy yourself and really embrace it, please don't do it. Okay. Life is way too short. We're all like, here's a memo. We're not getting out of here alive. So you might as well put your butt out there, take some risk, and really enjoy everything life has to offer you. So let me ask you this. If you are currently in a 9 to 5 job and you hate it, I am your poster child. Okay. I did it for 12 years. I went to the University of South Florida. Go Bulls if you're Bulls out there. I didn't learn a dang thing in college other than what not to do. Okay. I had a good time. That I was told. I was told the greatest 6 years of my life. And I'm here to tell you at 33, I had a rude awakening and I just decided I just didn't want to tolerate going to work every day. I had a really good job. I just hated it. And if you can connect with me on that, then follow me and I will show you how to get out of that hole. I'm telling you, life is so amazing. So right now is if you have to set an alarm clock for anything other than taking care of your children or your spouse, your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're probably doing things wrong. I'm just telling you, life has so much to offer you. It's unreal. But listen, before we get into it, I said, you got to have a good time. You got to be excited in what you do. And you guys know where I'm going with this. I like to have fun. You guys all know my boy is in the LifeBit commercial on it. Keep us in mind. We connected with him long before any of this stuff comes out. But if you're not having a good time wholesaling, if you're bored out of your mind, if you can't stand the guy or the gal you're paying to do wholesaling, you're in the right place, because I'm going to give you my 20 years experience for 100% free. So let's go.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
That's what I'm talking about. So if you can't have that much fun doing it, you're probably in the wrong channel. So I love wholesaling, but for the most part, I just think life's really short and you got to enjoy it. So wholesaling to me, real simply, is a means to the end. It gives me financial freedom. And more importantly, it gives me freedom of my time to do whatever I want. If I didn't work another day, I'd actually be fine. And I didn't get there overnight, guys. I'm telling you, I've been through the exact same struggle you guys have been through, and I can really relate. And the fact that I've taught Zach and I've watched what he's done in 5 years, it just blows me away. So my goal is to get everybody there. And the goal of this channel, Flip with Rick, everything we do is to create a legacy. And the idea is to have the most eyes and the best content on wholesaling and let people just be free. And that's what I'm here today for. And so if you subscribe to that, you're in the right place. And God, dude, I enjoy it. We had an amazing week wholesaling. Guys, anybody tells you there's no business out there, they're just not doing wholesaling right. So a little disclosure before I get into it. I have noticed an amazing trend. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't care, but a bunch of senior people, I guess you call them senior. I guess anyone from 2013 is considered a senior in wholesaling now. A lot of people are making these announcements that they're retiring from wholesaling. I'm not going to give names. You guys can kind of roll through them. I don't even care if you put them in the comments. I'm not going to address, but why would you retire from a highly profitable business that you love doing? The reason people retire, they announce their retirement from wholesaling single family homes. They don't like it. They just hate it. And they're not very good at it. It's just the truth. Why would you leave a job? I'm sorry, a business that's making a ton of money and you enjoy doing it? The only reason you leave it because you hate it. It's miserable. If wholesaling does not resonate with you, don't do it. But I have a theory. I believe me and Zach's movement of free wholesaling is having quite an effect on the business and the people that's been trying to sell you guys these endless secrets of courses. They're starting to struggle. And I'm talking about the ones that really don't have a product. And you guys know it. I've watched 5 this week alone. 5 really in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Really big names. And honestly, I don't even know most of them. Some I do know, but like honestly, you always got to find the truth when people say stuff like that. So the only reason you quit something is because you just don't like doing it. And I'm okay with that. But I'm here to help everybody out with it. Today, we are talking about direct mail. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take about 20, 30 minutes. We're going to go through an education part of it. Okay. This one's valuable. If you have any interest in direct mail or you're even contemplating do it, I'm going to tell you what not to do most importantly. And if you have interest in do it, I'm going to tell you the steps to take. And it's not just go out and buy a product. You have to understand the game before you do it. And the really cool part is I have it all for free for you. So don't worry. There is no upsell here. There's nothing going on. And guys, you're going to see more and more people leaving the wholesaling business because my business model works. And my business model is to help you guys out, make it free. And in return, you guys share, you give me likes, you share this content with someone that you believe that can benefit from it. And we grow as a community and we're like-minded individuals. And remember, you guys, you got two ways to basically, you have two ways to vote in this history. Number one's with your pocketbook. So it's up to you. If you want to buy a basic wholesaling course and you want to pay someone thousands of dollars, that's your option. There's no shortcut. I have the exact same information with much, much more experience. And I actually do this business right now and it's 100% free. Number two is with your time. So by you guys tuning in this channel, I can't thank you enough. So yesterday, took a little time off. I actually got down to the Fort Lauderdale area, and me and Zach and some family got to watch it's not UFC. It's one of these bare knuckle things. It was just fun. It's just fun to do like different stuff. So I enjoy any type of sports competition. I'm a very physical guy. I love working out. I love high energy. I love MMA, UFC, anything like that. So something came to town local. So it was a lot of fun. So that's why we do wholesaling, so we can do stuff like that. But no one's going to ever suffer from here on that. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about direct mail. You guys probably got a lot of questions about my headline that I put on there. And I am 100%, I'm going to give you facts. I'm not. So when anybody ever teaches you, number one, you have to identify, hey, are they selling me something? And number two, do they actually do it? Do they have proof in the pudding? Okay. I'm not selling you anything. I'm going to give it away for free. And number two, I'm going to show you how today, like right now in 2022, I'm making a killing in direct mail and everybody else is running. The reason people don't do direct mail is because they don't understand it. Full disclosure, if you're brand new to wholesaling, I don't want you starting in direct mail. There is a learning curve and you have to be very, very careful. So I'll go through 20, 30 minutes of training. Put in your questions. I'll answer them right after that. And if we have some time, which I know we will, if you guys want to hop on and do some one-on-ones, I would love to help anybody who wants to talk about implementing a direct mail and they've never done it. And I'm not here to teach advanced direct mail. So, and then if I don't have any more questions past that, I will take anything related to wholesaling. So I'm going to spend 2 hours with you. So I am here. You guys, direct mail, the goal of this is to educate you. So when you do want to do direct mail or you're thinking about it, you understand the process. It's so easy to go out and order direct mail, but if you don't understand how to pull a list, if you don't understand the method of the operation on how to engage sellers, you're going to fail miserably. And that is the absolute truth. Everybody wants to lie to you, stuff like that. That's why I don't sell a direct mail. I don't have an affiliate program for it. I don't have a course for it because everybody has a different level. And the responsible way is to educate you as if you've never seen direct mail before. So if you're in for it, let's get going. If you failed at direct mail, my God, tune into this. This is going to be an eye opener. Okay. Guys, I've been doing this almost 20 years now with direct mail. I think I'm one of the top experts for direct mail, specifically in wholesaling. So let's get into it. I'm going to pull it up on my screen. I said, put in your questions. And then anybody who wants to hop on for a one-on-one, we're going to open it up to direct mail first. I would love to talk to anyone who's new. If you have fears, anxieties about direct mail, let's help people out. There is no bad question you can ask. And then if we have time with that, we'll open it up for any one-on-ones. I don't forget about you guys who put in the comments, and we're going to go back and forth on it. So I'm not the technological wizard, but I will get it going. So let me throw this up on the stream, and I'll keep my mug next to it so you guys know I'm actually here, because I can't stand when people just like put slides up. So hold on. Let me. Okay, let me fix this here. My phone just keeps blowing up. Don't you hate that one? All day you guys have while I was sitting in the office. Now they want to do it. Okay, let's go here. So what is direct mail? Direct mail is simply a marketing channel designed to send postcards and letters to motivated sellers. That's it. It has the word mail in it. It only goes through the USPS, the United States Postal Service, and that's it. Okay. So anyone say so a lot of people use the word DM. They think it's so cool. It's direct mail. So I'm starting from square one so everybody gets a fair chance in this. Okay. So many people in this business try to over talk on it, and it ticks people off. Okay. The reason I love direct mail is it still works today. Guys, if I didn't do it, you would be very scared. Okay. I have a lot of friends across the country. The really, really big wholesalers, they rely heavily on direct mail. There's so many people out there go, oh, the cool thing is it's just text blasting and cold calling. And don't get me wrong, those are wonderful. But there's so many people doing that now. People are often looking direct mail. I watch gurus say, well, direct mail is dead. It doesn't work anymore. That means they don't do it. I'm telling you, I know probably 4 or 5 of the biggest wholesalers in the country. I'm talking about big numbers. By the way, the biggest wholesalers are the ones you're probably never going to hear about it. I don't want to be the biggest wholesaler. I already told you that. I enjoy my life. I enjoy making a lot of money and having a lot of time. If you have a lot of money and little time, to me, you're dead broke. So it's all about what you do with that money and how you help other people out. So direct mail still works. That's number one. You got to understand with that. It's 100% legal. You guys that are fighting, like, am I allowed to cold call this person? Can I do it? Can I do an RVM? Can I do this? Can I do that? I'm just telling you, they are never going to outlaw direct mail because it's through the United States Postal Service. So if someone says, hey, Rick, I'm calling the cops on you because you sent me a piece of direct mail, that's great. We're going to have to send Domino's to jail. We're going to have to send Bed Bath & Beyond to jail. You cannot go to jail for sending a direct mail. Okay. Now, if your message is not appropriate, then that's another conversation, but we don't do that. So I'm not worried about anybody there. So I'm here to tell you, one of my favorite parts about direct mail, and nobody wants to talk about it, you don't have to scrub your list and do all this stuff. Number 2, you don't have to skip trace. Okay. I get a lot of people say, hey, Rick, well, the cost of direct mail is high. I go, I tell you what, I'll run the cost of direct mail against any cold calling or SMS in the long run. Because the difference is you're not calculating the cost of the employees to run everything, the cost of the data. And one of the really cool parts is you don't need an army to run this stuff. So it's really, guys, if you don't get this point right here, it is so scalable for the single operator. For the first 4 or 5 years I did direct mail in my wholesaling business, I did it solo. Full disclosure, my wife helped me out when I got overwhelmed, and then I brought in VAs. But I'm here to tell you, I don't have a giant staff, okay? I run my entire operation on just under 4 employees. That's it, okay? Like, do the math on this. I heard somebody say the other day, they got a wholesale deal off of 35 cold callers. Do you guys know how much it costs to pay 35 cold callers? Like, it's insane. Like, if you had to net the numbers out, it's not. If you make a $50,000 deal, but you spent 45 to get it, I'm not impressed. I'm actually disappointed in you. So the key here is to keep as much as the money as you can without driving yourself crazy. The really cool thing about direct mail is when I was working ready for, it wasn't a 9 to 5. It was a 7 to 7 job. I had 2 small children, a mortgage, a pile of debt. And I ran the business for 2 years off direct mail because I didn't know anything else. So I'm just telling you, I dug out of that entire hole. I put away 1 year's salary. I told my wife I quit. And it was probably the greatest feeling I've ever had in my life, other than getting married and having children. Hopefully she's watching it and she'll acknowledge that. So, guys, I'm just telling you, it's extremely scalable. I know it freaks you out to spend money on it, but listen, the really cool thing about direct mail is once you spend that money, it's done. You're not bleeding to death on trying to pay employees to do it. So, and remember, it's inbound marketing. Okay. If you have a 9 to 5 job, inbound marketing is everything. What does inbound marketing mean? It means these sellers are calling you. You're not calling the sellers. It's the opposite of cold calling. Now, it's a little bit slower approach. I agree. But when I was working the 7 to 7, I didn't have another option. I couldn't answer the phone. I didn't know how to hire people to do it. So, guys, we're going back 20 years ago. It's like the ice age back then to most of you on here. But I'm telling you, I ran a very successful wholesaling business just on this operation alone. And I want you to understand today, I still have it going. I just have it a little bit more advanced because I've got a little bit more money and time. So let's talk about regular direct mail. This is what you guys have to deal with. And this is the crap that's out on the market. And this is why if you don't educate yourself, you will get killed on direct mail. So your typical direct mail, you go and get a postcard, right? Like there's a million vendors online. You can get it. You send it, you get a 0.5% response, maybe 1 if you're lucky. And what happens? You hope and pray someone calls you, since the average seller gets 3 to 5 postcards per week. And here in Florida, it's probably 10 to 15 postcards. It's obscene. Ask me how I know this because I've done it so much. So they get all these postcards. You send them a cookie cut version of somebody else's material. And typically it's a printer that really doesn't do wholesaling. They just copied a successful wholesaler's postcard and it gets completely saturated in the market and it never ever changes it, and use it till the day you die. How do you know this? Guys, I used to use the Google image thing forever and it failed. It failed miserably and I didn't adjust fast enough. And that's how I came up with a lot more creative products. And then if it doesn't get any worse, you're typically dealing with 5 other wholesalers and, in my opinion, like 10 other realtors. They're like, these guys send these We Buy Houses things everywhere. And then let's face it, whenever you do, I used to struggle with this my first time. When I first did wholesaling, especially direct mail, they're like, hey, what's your price? And I'd go through this entire song and dance. It was actually exhausting. Now, I've had a lot more sales training since then, but I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest struggles with direct mail is how do we deal with price, Rick? And I'm going to tell you, the system I'm going to show you at the end of this completely takes this off your plate and actually flips the script on them. But your standard postcard, you have to do the dance. What do I mean by the dance? If you can get past asking the qualifying questions, they will hammer you on price 1,000%, and it's hard to anchor them in. So, as I said, I've been doing direct mail for 19 years plus. I've always, listen to me, I can't stress this enough. Now, this is me. I'm not guaranteeing anyone's results. I have always gotten a deal every time I've sent out a batch of direct mail. Now, I send out large batches, guys, but it's not as big as you think it is. And actually, it's shockingly low. I don't believe in wasting money. The typical marketing budget for a wholesaler, someone who thinks they're like really scalable, is, what do you guys think the typical marketing budget for a wholesale operation is? I would love to hear. I know the number to heart, but there's a number you should not exceed. So what I'm talking about is percentage. So say you earned $100,000 in wholesaling, how much of that should go to marketing? So I want to educate you guys on this because I've talked to probably 10,000 wholesalers, and it's so funny to hear people's numbers. And I'm going to show you how if you're ever dealing with a guru or someone telling you, you could ask direct numbers. So I got 5K from Louis, 10K. So let's just go percentages. So maybe Louis, because remember, if you do 100,000 or $1 million operation, it's all on a percentage. So throw me some numbers up there because I'm going to shock you on this one. Okay. It's 4 to 5K months. So, okay, I'm talking about percentage, but I've noticed pretty close there, 20%. A healthy operation, like an aggressive marketer, will typically spend 15 to 20% of their entire budget on marketing. Like marketing, like everything. So now you can break it down. Direct mail is not the whole part of it. 10%, I see 20. Once you start to exceed these numbers, you got to start scratching your head and go, okay, what's going on? Okay. With my system, my goal is always to stay under 10%. How do I do that? You have to find good margin deals. Okay. You can't have low margin deals. Most scalable wholesale operations, when you get down to it, ask them specific questions, and I promise you, you can punch holes in the 90% of what people say. Okay. So for instance, someone told me they had 35 cold callers. to get one deal for $35,000, I think $40,000, that means they lost money on the deal. That means they lost money on the deal. You guys waiting to come online, just get in line. I promise you in like 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to put you on. I'm going to take you in the order you get on there. If you don't want to stare with your mug on there, just you can block your shot. And when I tell you we're going to go live, so you're not on hold forever. So I see you guys. I promise you. I'm not forgetting about you. Okay. So understanding that is, if you understand the percentages and the numbers, you can see if someone's for real or not. So if you ask someone, hey, what do you guys spend on, what percentage do you spend on marketing? You're going to get pie in the sky numbers every time. And that's when you know people are lying to you. Number two, what's your profit margin for your business overall? If people can't give me those two numbers and they tell me they run a $10 million business, I know 100% they're lying to me. 90% of the people I ask the question, they never have a solid answer. There's no way you run a business without knowing those numbers. And I just want people to be honest with it. Okay. So for full disclosure, my marketing budget, I try to stay 10% or less. Now, I'm really good at what I do. I've gone up to 25 to 30. It's a disaster. I'm just telling you. The average margin for a typical United States company is anywhere from 20 to maybe 30% entire margins. Okay. The problem with wholesaling is when you scale it, the numbers start to wash down. So if I spend $1 million on advertising, how am I going to make $3 million? And the problem when the numbers get tighter, it gets harder. So I don't even get close to 20 to 30% margin. My margins are typically 55%. Once again, how do I do it? I know how to market correctly and I know how to get high margins. That's the goal of wholesaling. If you want to have absolute as much free time as possible and as much money to do anything you want in life or take care of your family and friends. So let's get back to the presentation. I go on that one forever. And I tell you, ask people like direct questions. I can figure out if you're like lying to me or not about your business. Okay. When somebody says they run 10 million pieces of data, and then they tell me, like, do you know, I know how much that data costs. Like there's no way you're making any money when you do it. So a lot of these people out there like have these big events. Like I'll tell you how to do everything. They will never share with you on how much they spend on marketing. And it's obscene. I've seen it as high as 35 and 40%, but they're getting deals, but they're not making any money. Okay. There's a famous wholesaler, starts the letter with R, was out of Tampa, ran this massive wholesaling operation. Okay. Before all this stuff that happened in our current last few years. And in the end, it was all fake, guys. It was fake. He said he was doing 10 to $15 million and it wasn't an eighth of that. And I'm just telling you, if you guys are buying, and plus he had a $30,000 coaching program and that's how it works. So anyways, so I've got a deal from every mailing I've ever done. Now, sometimes they take time for full disclosure. Number two, I would make anywhere from 20 to 25 grand per deal in 2000. And I was fine. I did good volume. I never did. I don't do hundreds of deals a year. It's an absolute lie. Like when people do that. So when you get really good at wholesaling, the idea is to try to take home as much money as you can. I'm not going to say the least amount of work with the least amount of effort. Okay. Because that's what burns wholesalers out. You see the people leaving this business, it's because they can't figure it out. Okay. You can be really flashy, but you don't make any money. I find the flashier people are, the less money they make, and they make more money actually selling you guys courses. So in 2017, I had more and more wholesalers absolutely completely flooding the market, and then the margins started going down, and I even saw it on my side, and I got frustrated. I was stuck, and back then I was using the Google image postcard. So let me know if anybody on here did the Google image postcard. It was a picture of the house. It's actually clever, and we automated it before they even offered these postcards. It wasn't my idea. I copied it off somebody else. But I got so many complaints because people are like, why are you flying a drone over my house? It's kind of funny if you think about it. And the problem is everybody did it and it lost its effectiveness. So margins went way down. And then here's what I noticed. Like I decided one day, I took all my salespeople. I said, listen, give me the two biggest objections everybody has off of direct mail when we do the mailings. And guess what they were? take me off your list. I know you guys get this all the time. And the next one is, what's your offer? And that's when I go, man, I think I got a workaround for this. I think I know exactly how to deal with this. So here's what we did. After thorough testing, and this is actually when I was teaching my son the business, so we had a lot of fun doing this, is I created a postcard. So go back in history, way, way, way back in the day, like I want to say 2011, 12, I came up with a system called the handwritten postcard. And back then we used to take yellow 8.5, 11 piece of paper. We would jam it in the printer and we would print like a handwritten font on it. And it was very timely. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of money. And I remember saying, what if we could just put that all on a postcard? And that's how we did the handwritten postcard. You guys know the story. Everybody in the world ripped me off. Like I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I was making a ton of money doing it, and everybody followed my lead. So I've learned in direct mail is you got to be a little bit creative. If you keep doing the stale thing everyone else does, eventually you will be saturated and you will be shoved out of the market. So the good news is I always stay ahead of the curve. So I came up with ROS Postcard. It's the rapid offer system. For full disclosure, I just came up with the idea. I don't own any really. I use it at a print house and I give it to all of you guys. Let me pull this up here before I forget it, because I'm just, is if you guys go to mailingmastery.com, I actually show you where to get it, everything to do. I'm not a printer. I don't want to be a printer. I have no interest in doing it. I just want to print my postcards. They print my postcards. In return, if you guys decide to use them, you go to mailingmastery.com. But my whole agreement with the company, I know the owner very, very well. He's actually a wholesaler too. His name is Justin. Phenomenal service, unbelievable. And you will never find anyone who's going to beat him in the business, because I've used every printer. There's only 3 or 4 big printers in the country. This guy gets it. This guy actually got in a plane and come and met me. And he's like, hey, he goes, I hear good things about you, Rick, and what you're doing. I said, listen, I want to offer a postcard. I don't want any money from it. Just help people out. And that's the agreement we have. So I came up with the idea. He says, hey, listen, can we use it? I said, that's right. Let's give everybody the best price possible. So, oh my gosh, I forgot to take the comments. Okay. Hold on. My technology is slow. Okay. So back to the postcard. So this is it. So guys, don't worry about it. If you go to Mailing Mastery, the really cool thing about I'm not there to sell you anything. I'm just there to teach you. And I don't want anyone to go buy a postcard today. That's not the goal of this. Okay. Number one, I don't own the company. I have no ownership interest in it. They just take care of me. And I like people that just like take care of their customers. I've used other ones and I'm like, when did the mail go? This company is so far ahead on technology, but this is the postcard, guys. It's a front and a back. So the front's right here. I'm sorry. And yeah, the front's right here. A big, big, giant phone numbers, guys. You can't put your phone number big enough on a piece of direct mail. And I want you to notice on the back is they have this little thing. They got an offer down here on the bottom. Insane. Okay. Now, here's what happens is they use data just like we use through ListREI and .com, ZachData.com, is they create a formula to make an offer. You don't have to think about it. You just set what level you want to do the offer. Guys, I don't have enough time to teach it on here, but if you go to Mailing Mastery, I want to point you in the right direction to educate you on direct mail. Nobody that I know in the entire country teaches direct mail without hitting you with a ridiculous fee. And then when you get the product, almost every one of you are disappointed. So it's a simple postcard. Less is more. And I'm telling you, it is insane. So I tested this postcard out for a year before I even showed it to anybody on this channel, because I'm in wholesaling and I know it works and it works well. So here's what happened, guys. Guess this. Sellers took my calls before any other postcard. In Florida here, we're buried with postcards. It's ridiculous how many postcards are. The next one is, I talked about this the other day, like the kind of the scrunchy face when I was talking about different sales presentations. This is it, man. This is like a built-in there. You take the stress of making the offer, you get it out of the way. So when they contact you, they're basically going to accept your offer or they're going to volley back to you. Now, I want you guys to understand, and we average about a 2% response rate. That's still true to this day, but keep in mind, there's a lot of things that go into direct mail. You could blame ROS and go, oh man, I failed miserably. Let me see your list. How often did you mail to them? Who's answering the phone? Did you ask the 4 pillar questions to qualify them? Like, I can go on. There's so many points of failure for direct mail that a lot of people like to blame it on the direct mail or the person that introduced them to him. But you got to be fair. You have to learn the entire system. And that's why most people fail at direct mail. If you go out and buy this postcard with no training at all, you just buy it, you plug it in. I have no idea what your list is. And in a month you post on here, you bombed. I don't take you seriously because, first of all, the cardinal rule for direct mail is you got to wait 1 quarter to evaluate the results. It's much slower than cold calling. Okay. Since we've done these, now part of it is the market. I'm not going to take full credit for it. We've literally doubled, and to the point of posting this, it's close to triple. Okay. And I'm going to share with you. We just get a ton of calls off these. And we're always first to the seller. And remember, we get the first appointment. And as I guys tell you, you got to condition your sellers when you're there. Yeah. And so I went through the entire, what are you talking about conditioning? Go to freewholesaling.com. I teach you how to have a conversation before you get into it with your seller to make sure they give you a solid yes or no answer. If you don't do it, you're going to struggle. And that has nothing to do with direct mail. That's just with when you go out and do acquisitions and appointments. So let's talk about how the ROS postcard works. So seller gets an offer. Okay. The reason I did this because it was the number 2 complaint on direct mail. And I'm talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pieces I sent out. What's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? Okay. So when we make an offer, I'm going to tell you how we come up with a number on the offer in a second. Okay. We assume the house is in perfect conditions. Okay. We are assuming Zillow quality. Okay. You have to go into it with that. I want you guys to understand our mailing list do the counterintuitive, right? We're looking for people with distressed properties, with behind on payment, stuff like that. So we want to go with the mentality is if your house is perfect, our offer is perfect for you. We know the houses aren't perfect. Is it bait and switch? No, it's not. If your house is perfect, I'll give you exactly what it says on the postcard. Very rarely do I ever get that. Okay. See how to work this mouse here. So our offer is low enough. It's less than 6% plus closing costs. So it put on here greedy seller. The idea is our price, and we did this through, I probably spent 150 grand myself testing the data. Now I had to purposely, you ready for this? I had to purposely bomb direct mailings of $5,000 and $10,000 to figure out this data. Okay. So the secret in the ROS postcards has really nothing to do with the template other than it's simple. It's been tested. So we tested it. So our purpose is to find a seller that has something wrong with the house that understands they're going to accept some sort of discount. So most sellers, let's hear this out. Put it in the comments here. A standard seller, I'm not talking about the perfect ones like a perfect house, but somebody's got a rental home, maybe a little bit of issues. What do you think they expect to take a discount if they go outside of a realtor? And I'm talking about like, it's never going to be 50%. You guys know that. But what do you think the standard number it is? So a realtor costs what? 6%. Closing costs what? 1.5%, 2%. We're up to 8%. And remember, there's a little bit of negotiating in there. Maybe 1%. We're at 9%. And then there's always something wrong with these houses. You put in another 3 to 4%. We make an offer based on a computer, and I just told them the numbers that work, and then I gave it to people that are smarter to me. Remember, I'm not in the software. Any type of coach, guru, or wholesaler that tells you they own a data company or a software company, be concerned because you can't be really good at all things. Okay. I'm really good at wholesaling. I'm terrible at software. I just admit it. I'm not, honestly, if I didn't have a calculator on my phone, I would be in trouble. So I don't try to go into the space on it. So I'm looking at the numbers here. Rick says between 10 and 15%. He's right. Okay. I don't go in. So if the house is worth 200,000, I don't go in and offer 198,000. We found the sweet spot. And the really cool thing about ROS, when you go to Mailing Mastery, we teach you is you can adjust how much you want to offer on the postcard based on a sliding scale. You get to test the data out. Remember, what works in my market might not work in your market. I have several virtual markets, and we have to increase some of the offers and we have to lower them in some other markets. Every market's unique. You have to master and learn your market. That's the secret to direct mail. And once you do it, you can scale this thing through the roof. Remember, you have to answer the phones. You got to go on appointments. You can actually overspend in direct mail if you don't know what you're doing. So that's right. We offer a discount where we just enough to induce the person goes, okay, I get it. I'm going to take an 8 to 10% discount right off the bat. And here's the really cool part. And I learned this through this. So it's just high enough where we still get the most calls. They're like, so the reality of most sellers, I'm just going to tell it to you, like I have a lot of experience in this. If they could sell their house less the real estate commission and closing cost like that, they would take your offer all day long. You agree? We wouldn't make any money if we did that low. So we're not into it for that. So I don't want you to do that. But remember, the purpose of direct mail is what? It is to engage a seller to see if we can buy their house. That's it. The rest is up to you. It's your ability to qualify people, to say the right things, and to be as helpful as you can to them to get the deal done. This piece of mail, I should have put a physical one in my hand, does not do your work. It does not replace you. It is not a salesperson. The idea is to engage your lead. Your lead has 5 to 7 other postcards. They all look the same. Hey, let me look at this ROS postcard. Dude, this guy put an offer on it. Let's call him. It sounds good. And once you have it, like once they call you, qualify them. Here's a big secret. You should probably write this one down because this is probably the most valuable thing I learned in the first year of doing this. When they call me, I don't care what the offer is on the postcard. But Rick, you put an offer on the postcard. I don't care. I could care less what it is. I am now going to qualify them. And hopefully I'm going to go out and look at the house and I'm going to make an offer based on what I see and what they say. So if you can get over, if they go, I have people all the time. We have them up to $350,000. Hey, Rick, I'll take your offer for $350,000. Great. I'm going to go through the qualifying questions. And then number 2, I'm going to go out and look at the house. And if that house ain't perfect, you ain't getting $350,000. I've had 2 houses I've actually bought off the postcard. Like it was perfect. I had a buyer lined up for it. It was really easy, but that's not what we're doing. No matter what they say, the whole goal of that postcard is to engage your seller. Once they call you, engage you, you handle the rest. What I'm saying is you have to get trained on what to say. The really cool thing is we show you the whole thing. And basically we negotiate the offer in person if the house is not perfect. Remember, if you're targeting the right list, you are not buying brand new spanking like builder houses. So it's never, ever an issue. So here's the truth. We need to assume the best out of every house and explain Zestimates. Okay? Because do we complete with Zestimates? I don't care. I always look at them before I teach my salespeople to look at them so you know what their counter is going to be. But we have to assume the house is in like perfect condition. Otherwise, you have no room to negotiate. Okay. And 98% of the time, they are never in perfect condition if you're doing the right list. The offer is just to engage your call. You got to work the magic, guys. It's up to you. So when you guys, if you're doing the ROS postcard now, or you think about it, when they call you and say, hey, I'll take your offer, like that doesn't mean the game's over. You have to go through and qualify. You got to find motivation. If there's no motivation there, you're not going to get a good. I'm not going to promise you that from day one. I will get you there, though. I'm telling you. I taught a 17-year-old kid how to make $100K in 90 days while he was in high school. So it's never about how smart and educated you are. It's actually kind of the opposite. It's how willing are you to go outside the norm of what society teaches and take a risk to give you the ultimate reward for your family. So I posted this. This was off of Zach's, actually, I think it was off his personal Facebook, and I can't see it on there. He just said he did his first deal with the ROS Postcard, did 40 grand. Guys, I don't do solicitations for this stuff. It works. I want you to think about this for a second, okay? The, the difference with this postcard is it just gives you a head start on your competition because you're doing something so unique and different. And by the way, if you're saying it's saturated, it's not. I keep an eye on how many people actually do this. I talk to the owner all the time. I'm just telling you, most people don't even utilize this strategy. It's ridiculous. I own it in Florida. Like everybody knows my postcards. Everybody I talk to, my friends, I even sent it to a family member by accident. That's pretty bad. I should filter the list a little bit better on that. So I'm just telling you guys, there's no secret to direct mail. You just want to have something that stands out a little bit above your competition, and then you have the skills to be able to do it. So here's the honest truth. You will fail with direct mail without the proper training, especially with this postcard. So do not go out and buy this postcard today. I want to educate you. The whole purpose of Mailing Mastery is if you're new or you're very experienced, the idea is we take you from step one, how to build a list. We go through so much of stuff. I've done millions of these things, millions of postcards to send out. I'm a big part of it. I don't send out millions, by the way. Okay. And we'll get into it when we get in the conversation. We will not allow you to send any postcards out unless you are properly trained. I've already told the owner, Justin, if you have somebody brand new that doesn't know what they're doing, don't do it. I don't want you guys getting killed. And Justin is a big enough man that goes, he'd rather have you as a long-term customer than you being a one-time hit wonder. So you order $2,000 or $3,000 postcards and then you fail, then you'll never buy from him again. So me and Zach support you on this in Mailing Mastery. It's absolutely crazy how much training we do on this. It's the only free direct mail course I know of out there. It's insane. Okay. I was offered a crazy amount of money for this course. I turned it all down. You guys know what my goal is. I want to help. I'm going to change wholesaling industry. I don't care who I tick off doing this. I'm tired of people screwing people over, not helping them out in wholesaling. It's ridiculous. So go to mailingmastery.com. There's no credit card. It's 100% free. We give you the ROS scripts, recorded calls of me and Zach actually closing people on ROS postcards. And actually, we did a bunch of live ones. So we're really good at what we do. So if you know how to pull the list, have the right conversation and what to say in the sales presentation, you'll do very, very well with these postcards. Okay. And for those of you guys that follow me, I work with the owner and we're constantly updating. Okay. And we play around with like different versions. Here's the really cool part. I don't want you to test it out. I test it out and then you go from there. I already told you I spent $150,000 just in mailing fees to figure out the sweet spot. And if you go to Mailing Mastery, I go through the entire story. Guys, it's a lot of training. I couldn't do it in a 2-hour video, even if I wanted to. Guys, go to mailingmastery.com. It's a game changer. And even if you're not going to do direct mail, educate yourself on it so you know what's going on. So much goes into direct mail other than the print piece. And so many people just, you like hold the person that gave you the print piece like accountable, the coach or the guru. Honestly, you have to have a complete system. You have to have it. And most gurus aren't going to walk you through it. So mailingmastery.com, you jump on a one-on-one with me, which I'm going to open it up here in just a moment. I got Jason, I got Jan, like 5 minutes I'm going to come on. You will do amazing things with it. The people that just jump in, try it once and jump out, I could have told you you're going to fail before you did it. Okay. Anybody, you guys see the post all the time. I tried direct mail. It's dead. My coach told me it's dead. It's dead because he doesn't know how to do it. And B, you didn't give it any type of opportunity and you have to educate yourself on everything. So I think, let me see. Am I done here? Guys, that's it. So I'm going to take that off here. And that's everything you really need to know about the postcard. I'm always playing with direct mail. It's actually a hobby of mine. So I did a handwritten postcard. It was actually the #1 selling postcard for 4 years in a row. And I didn't financially benefit from any of it. People wrapped it up in their courses. They duplicated it. I had to meet with Laura. I just gave up. So if you guys are introduced to handwritten postcard, that was like my idea. And The reason I know it worked is because I tested out and I made a lot of money doing it. And then what I had is other people rip it off, and it's ridiculous. So I learned as I went forward. So I do have, there is a lot of money tied up in that product in testing. Okay. I don't own a print company. I have no, like to me, that's ugh, like, I wouldn't want to do that. Back in the old days, we used to have print machines in my office, and I used to drive my wife nuts because the printer used to run all night, and we got ink on it. Well, we like ruined the room. I never heard the end of it, so I promised I would never do it again. So that's it, guys. I'm going to go through some questions on here, and then I'm going to start pulling in. Jan, let me know if you're around. It says you're not connected. And Jason, you just bumped off, but I'll take some questions on here. If you guys want to talk anything one-on-one, if you want to talk about direct mail, if you got a lot of questions, if you want to go through some numbers on yours, I'm here to help you out. So I'm giving you, not only am I giving you the Mailing Mastery course 100% for free. Okay. People are always like, hey, Rick, why in the world, if you could get paid to be a high-level top coach, would you turn it down? And here's a simple answer for it. Number one, it's beyond saturated. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot of good people out there. I'm not like, everybody has a different business model, and I respect it. But number two is, if I'm teaching you to get freedom of your time, why am I going to sit behind a Zoom call 8 to 10 hours a day? Like, there's only so much you can scale coaching. I don't care what they say. I come from the old school. Like, if I'm not sitting one-on-one across from you, I'm not paying you to be a coach. Like, it just, to me, like, so now you got people, hundreds of people on a Zoom at a time. That's not coaching. That's just, I don't know what it is. Like, I wouldn't do it. I mean, that's it. I mean, if you're going to do a small batch of group, maybe, but, and then number two, do you really have a business? Or if 90% of your business is, if 70% of your business is derived from coaching, then you already know that they're focused on coaching. They're not focused on wholesaling, and it's going to be tough. So, let me see here. Okay, guys. I don't see a lot of questions here. Oh, I'll hit Eskimo here. Should we do ROS while cold calling or focus on our cold calling? Listen, I've already told you, if you haven't done a deal or you're struggling to get your first deal, do not focus on direct mail. Remember, guys, I don't have a financial benefit from either way you do it. So I'm just going to tell you the truth. That's the beauty of what we do here on this channel, is I can sit here and tell you the truth. I'm like that uncle that's like, I'm just going to tell you how it is. And everybody needs some sort of figure of that in your life. Like, so if you ever had a parent that, like, my God, they were so difficult when I was a child, and then when you get older, you're like, man, thank you so much for not letting me go on that trip, or like, thank you so much for not like lighting. I shouldn't have lit the car on. We all did stupid things as kids. So I struggled with direct mail when I first did it. It was terrible. So so if you're cold calling, stick to it, get a deal. And then when you generate some revenue, the beauty thing is, when you implement direct mail, you can kind of scale your business, because those leads are coming inbound and you can sort through them. Okay. I could easily sit back and direct mail. Like, honestly, I will not do a deal in our company that we don't make it. Our worst deal in the last 6 months is $22,000. The house is like, listen, that's still a good profit. Like, all you be good at. I got to tell you, in the beginning, I did 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. I worked my muscle up to 10,000. I go, man, if we could just do like 12, 13,000, guys, I'm clearing deals at 100K plus. And here's the really cool part. It's in the single family realm. I'm not buying giant apartments. There's a huge push. If you guys notice, there's a huge push to go to storage. And I love storage, but it's like big boy stuff. And I've yet to see the returns on storage unless you're dealing in the 25 million and up class. And why am I going to go sit there and fight with it when I can just sit here and just keep flipping and doing single family homes? I collect rentals. And by the way, guys, do not rehab these properties. I'm just going to warn you, do not. If you don't have a person that go over there and just paint it, maybe stick some appliances, at worst flooring, move on. You've got to be in and out of these properties, especially in the environment and the market we're in. So let me check the questions here, and I'll bring Jonas on in just 2 seconds here. Um, now I'm going to tell you, Sandra put on here. I like that kind of idea for probates. Don't do it for probate, Sandra. It doesn't work. I've already tested it. I just saved you a fortune. Probates have to be very personal. They have to be a letter. If you go over to freewholesaling.com, I teach you exactly how to do it. Guys, don't go against the grain on some of this stuff because I've spent millions of dollars testing everything out. I'm here to tell you, probates is a very independent. You cannot make an offer to a probate. You have to come from another angle. It's not going to work. I thought the same thing you did, Sandra. It bombed terrible. We didn't do any deals, so we switched back to what we normally do. So, guys, go to Mailing Mastery. It's rolling on the bottom of the screen. I'm going to leave it up here for like another 15 minutes, and then we'll kind of go from there. And guys, the key with direct mail is you have to be educated from someone who's actually currently still doing it. Not only believes in it, everybody. I mean, you got to believe in it to make it work, but they're actually profiting it from it. And that's the key on it. So I see a little girl behind Jason there. So that's cool. Okay, Jace, Jonas, I'm gonna bring you on here. And
hey,
what's that? Let me see. Let me try to fix my screen here. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you
Oh,
hear
I
me?
gotta turn you up. What's up, man? Where you at?
I'm actually, the internet is down at my
I
place.
see that. It's dark back there, man. I couldn't
I'm
recognize your face there. There you go.
I'm sitting in my car.
It's amazing you even get a connection with me, man. What's going on?
Yeah,
I feel like
so
we talk every day.
yeah, I know.
So you
So-
guys just keep in mind, Jonas is on like the other side of the world from me. And this kid takes action. And I just like, if you have an excuse in the United States, this kid's going to punch you in the mouth. So it's like, this kid's like in the dark with bad internet. What time is it there right now, Jonas?
midnight, 1 minute.
Midnight.
Yeah.
So and Jason's now teasing me with like a gerbil or something. So you got some competition here. So what can I help you out with, Jonas? I mean, I feel like I know Zach answers like most of your questions, but not, what do you got for Dad?
Yeah, so I got this sweet lady in Kentucky,
Okay.
and she owns a vacant lot in Texas. And she had I called her. She had actually gotten a mail, but fortunately, I got in touch with her and we shared some laughs. So yeah, it's a pretty good relationship there.
Okay.
And her father, who owned the land, he died like 10 years ago.
Okay.
I have searched in the county in Texas, and there isn't a will, at least the public record,
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't really know if there's a will or not.
Okay.
And we could do a small affidavit, the shortcut, kind of like with probate. But one of the requirements is that it's a homestead, and it's a vacant lot. But could that slide?
So let me ask you, have you ran some preliminary numbers on the values there and what she wants for it?
Yeah, I called the realtor. She said 6K, and I got it to 7K, and she wants 1.5K.
Okay.
So it's not a big spread.
No, it's not a big spread. That's some of the downsides of like small land and like, so Kentucky's kind of a small market. No diss.
but-
I have friends that live there, but like whenever this comes up, the first thing I do is reach out to a title company
Mhm,
and see what we can do.
mhm.
Eventually, if somebody, I assume it would be a buildable piece of land, or is it just a land for?
Yeah,
like-
it's
Okay.
in the land is in Texas, and it's pretty central.
Texas. So at some point you'll have to clear the title on the land, even though it's a low amount of money. So the key is you got to work with a title company and see what you can do. Most of the times when I get a piece of property and I have this situation, and by the way, it happens all the time. I got to make sure there's enough profit in there to cover any types of fees, legal fees. So what you have to do is at some point they're going to have to open a probate and run it through. Unfortunately, The typical cost in the United States for an average probate is probably around $1,500, and that's one where you don't go to court. If you go to
Oh,
court, it can double, if not triple. So you always got to make sure it's worth your time and effort for the profit. Now, if I have it, say I had $100,000 house and they want to give it to me for 40 grand, and you have this same problem, if they'll sign like some sort of commitment or contract, even though they don't have the legal authority, is I said, listen, I've already talked to my title company. They says we need to open a probate. It's going to be about $1,500. I'll go ahead and I'll front the money. By the way, you don't front the money. You just pay the legal cost, which is about $500-$600, depending on what state you're in. And then what I tell them is when we sell it, you'll just have to reimburse me that cost so we can get the deal done. And you can do that. The problem is on the land, I don't know if there's going to be enough money there to make that work, to take that kind of risk. So it's kind of a learning lesson from you. It's just with houses, you give me a smoking deal in a house, I'll pay for your probate. I'll say, listen, I'll pay up to $3,000 for your probate. And I get some monster deals because the problem is you need to have someone open a probate for someone to have legal authority to enter into a contract. By the way, I have people that don't have legal authority enter in contracts with me all the time. Why would I have someone to sign a contract that's not legally binding? Because it mentally commits them to it. Like they're like, okay, I won't deal with any. And then we have to go through. I have one I'm going through right now. We're going on 1.8 years now. But here's the really cool part. I contract the house for $80,000. It's probably worth $280 now.
Wow.
It's insane. It's like, and the lawyer goes, so their lawyers come back. There's some other areas that came out. They go, we're gonna have to renegotiate this. I go, I'm good. I'm just like, I don't need to regret. You guys are obligated. She was the one on it. I'll be fair. I'll give them a little bit more money, but like, we got to get this thing wrapped up. So it's, once you put lawyers in the stuff and like there's people fight it in probate, that's when you have problems. But I own a place right now. I don't even have clear title to. I took it over. It's an old house, and the lady's like, just give me a couple grand, and I took it over, like subject to. But her husband died. They never did the stuff correctly, and she's not cooperating. But I make $1,000 a month. I don't even care if it clears. Like that's another one if I'm going to keep it as a rental. So I don't think there's going to be enough money in it, Jonas. I'm just going to be honest with you, unless you can find other numbers on it. So the last thing you want to do in wholesaling, guys, is waste your time and not make any money. That is like a kick in the gut. That's like me I went to a bare knuckle fight last night for the headliner round. You ready for this? Like the big fight, 260-pound men. It lasted 5 seconds. The guy punched him once in the mouth and it was over. I'm just like, how much did we just pay for this fight? I'm just like, Zach looked at me like, now let me tell you, it was quite a rock. But that's how it feels when you do all that work. And the last thing you want to do, Jonas, is pull money out of your pocket for a deal that's going to fall apart. So unless you give me any other information, I don't think you have much there. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
If you had a house and she's like, just give me a grand and there you could put a renter in there, I'll do that all day long. Guys, clear title sometimes, unless you're flipping a property and insuring it. I've owned 100 properties with like clouded titles. Like it happens in the United States. There's some of the best deals you ever have. If you never plan on selling the property, or you don't care about flipping it, who cares? Here's my theory. Anything under 10 grand where I can make a sizable return, I'll take the risk all day long. I don't want any of you guys to do it. I learned it I didn't do a deal like that till I was about 4 or 5 years into the business. So it does take some time. You got to work with lawyers and title companies. But that's my opinion on that, Jonas.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking, if it's a small estate affidavit, I think it's called, I thought you just filed the form and then the judge cleared.
As I said, talk to your title company. Every state's like a little bit different. I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be one. All I can do is learn from my experiences and share it with you. So I reach out to the title company and confirm that. But keep in mind, whenever you buy a property with a clouded title, which means it's not clear, number one, it's not insurable. So when you go to sell it, you're always going to sell it at a deep discount too. So you got to pass that savings on, because now somebody else has to take a calculated risk, just like you would do if you were going to do that. The problem is when you're trying to flip it, like they're already like shaky with your assignment of contract anyways. You throw in like a clouded title. They're like, I mean, what are you, crazy? So anything under 10 grand, like I don't overly worry about it as long as I can profit from it and it's legal. So By the way, there's houses up in the Northeast, especially in Boston. Anybody in here from Boston? Title gets very complicated after like 75 years of like ownership. It gets really complicated. So, whatever. I mean, you'll learn from it and go from there. What else you got? Anything else?
I'm gonna call that land 16 acres in
Okay.
Georgia. A little
Okay.
nervous, but I'll do it.
You
Have a
got it,
great
dude.
day.
So you guys, whenever you say there's nervous or like I'm scared to do this, it's a feeling you acknowledge, but you got to go through it because it feels so much better to get the other side. Have you ever done something you're scared with and you're like, nah, I don't want to do it? Anybody can relate. I used to have a fear of the dentist for like the longest time, even as an adult. Like I would just tense up. I'm like sticking your hands in my mouth. I hated it. And I just had like an epiphany one day. I go, I'm just going to open my mouth and just forget about it. And it doesn't mean it hurts any less for me. I just I get over it because I have to go through it to get it done. Right.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of do the same. So do that. You know where you are. I'll see you next week, Jonas. And I
Yeah.
wish you the best of luck. Get some sleep, buddy.
I will.
Okay, man. I'll talk to you. Okay, Jason, I'm bringing you on 1 second. I got a question here. JF says, which list works best for ROS? Now, this is always debatable. So go to mailingmastery.com. We go through the entire list. Guys, if you don't understand lists, I guarantee direct mail will be a challenge for you. The whole goal of this live stream is to let you know that direct mail works with the proper education and the proper product. Okay. And you could mail people $100 bills. If you don't have the right list, you're done. So try that. Last one, J&L asked, have you ever done letters in a different language? I have, because in South Florida, we have a big bilingual population, but it's a little bit further south than me. I've actually translated contracts. If you need to translate this one, I promise you, Justin over at Open Letter Marketing that does this, I'm sure he can figure it out for you. So go through Mailing Mastery first and just understand, educate. And if you want to translate it, actually is really simple. Because remember, the numbers, you don't need translation on the numbers, and the ad copy is so small, it would be really, really simple. So that's no problem at all. Go ahead and try it. Guys, that's why we try to work with mail houses that will like cater to what we need to do. Go try to do that like some other places. I'm not going to mention because I don't use them anymore. So, okay. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Rick? How are you?
And so I've seen the girl. So is that a gerbil or a hamster?
It's a hamster.
What's the hamster's name?
Her name is Thumper. Yeah, I got a kick out of that when you're like, Jason's teasing me with the hamster.
Yeah, well, don't worry, guys. I have a we have a family pet dog. He comes over to the office because so we rotate babysitting. He's a very old dog, but a lot of times like he's tucked under me here because he just because he doesn't say anything. He's just quiet, but then he starts like snoring, and I have to like kick him a few times. I'm like, stop it! Or he does other things.
I've never noticed that. So your kicks are slick enough.
Yeah. So is that your daughter that was behind you?
Yeah, that was my daughter. Yeah, her name's McKenna.
She's not very shy, is she?
Well, she knew I wasn't on the live stream right now, so
it's okay. I'm just kind of messing with you. So kids are kids are funny, dude. They're just I love watching this because now I got like real live people. It's so funny. So
yeah,
what can I help you out with, man? What's going on?
Man, I'm looking at the map of St. Lucie in Florida. And man, there are a lot of houses there. Like it's just block after block after block. There's a lot of houses there.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you guys forewarning. I always tell you to reverse engineer other people's doing deals. Like it's not going to work with me. I'm just going to I'm working in so many different markets. And number two, I don't care if people come here. I have so many people from California, Phoenix, Arizona, every one of those guys come here. And you know what? They all get them under contract. So when they come here, guess who they call in the end to sell them? And by the way, I'm not a realtor. I'm not. Yeah, it's going.
You end up with it anyway.
And they all try to negotiate. I have 6 deals. We have 6 deals on our plate. Every one of them from the Phoenix area because they can't figure out how to price the stuff and they can't look at the houses. And if you can't do that stuff, you are going to get killed in any market. I don't care who you are.
True.
And then they go, well, you can keep 30%. Lose our number. Lose our number. I'm talking about big players. I'm like, guys, this is like, I know you guys think it's a field of dreams in Port St. Louis. I'm just,
oh no,
5-6 years ago, you probably could have done it. Like now, like the average price point in Port St. Lucie is approaching like 3, like high, like above 3. Now, if I go back to 2004 and even 2011, I was buying them cheaper. I buy them for 40 grand all day long. So like I'm in sticker shock, but like I remember price is just a moving target. A deal is a deal. Like if it's 300,000, 500,000. So we've had to adjust our pricing here in Florida. The average, our houses, the average, and I'm talking to some rough, we're like 250s our minimum now. And we used to do $50,000 houses. So we're all adjusting. Everybody on this call, like you all having the same sticker shock. I got people in Ohio, like we used to buy stuff for 20,000. Now we got to pay 60. I'm like, welcome to the club. So it's, honestly, if somebody wants to come to St. Lucie County, you can do it. I'm just telling you, there's some really rough sections that you're going to get a ton of phone calls and because I get the calls every day from these virtual investors that have no idea what they're doing. And it's the same thing. They put it under contract for the first price they got and they can't move it. And I just wait them all out because I eventually get the phone and I tell everyone, eventually I'm going to buy it anyway. So if you want to work a deal out
anyways,
yeah, but like none of them like, so I typically do like a 60-40 split and like we have a lot of rules and it's like, I had somebody call me the other day, they go, I'll give you 30%. I go, call a realtor. Like that's what you need. So anyways, it's actually I did marketing all this morning and I did the list and it's like, I've completely, my lists are always pretty much the same. We had to change the valuations because the numbers weren't coming in. I'm just like, oh my God. And I said, Zach, look at this number I have to put in for valuations. It's like, it's unbelievable. But you guys got to look at the positive. The higher the value of the house is, probably the more we make. Because
that's true.
Even if you make like a 10% on a $250,000 house, that's what, 25K. So I used to have the problem when I did houses in the hood when I started out, there were 9 or 10 grand and I'd make a grand or two and I would bust my butt on it, Jason. Like I'm talking about like pit bulls, needles, like really sketchy stuff. So I started out in
I wasn't interested.
No, I'm just trying to tell people like
St. Lucie. I was just comparing it to here. Like,
so what conclusion you come to?
Well, I don't know. South Carolina isn't blocks like that. There's not blocks. It's more just like random roads. And I don't know. It's just different. I feel like it's not so densely populated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wasn't interested in doing it in Port St. Lucie. I was just looking. You know what I mean?
Port St. Lucie is, I don't want to offend people. Like I know a lot of wholesalers live in Port St. Like I wouldn't live there. Like I'm just like there's no sidewalks. There's no sewers. Like the city was designed for retirees in the 60s and 70s. There's no lighting. Like the schools are overrun. The schools are some of the toughest kids I know grow up there. But like, it is what it is. So it's like, I live just down the street in a little bit nicer neighborhoods, but it's like, I lived in Port St. Lucie for full disclosure. And when I had kids, I found out, I'm like, okay, my kid's going to have to learn how to like be tough or we're going to have to find another neighborhood. So like, and then when I moved my kid to the other neighborhood, I go, we're going to find a way to like toughen up Zach. Cause I'm like in Port St. Lucie, it was just a different world. Like when I grew up in, but it's no sidewalks, no sewers, no downtown, no street lights. Like it just, Oh, and by the way, it has the highest millage, I think, in the state of Florida per county. So from a landlord's perspective, it's horrible. So the average on the rentals I own over there, I think the tax, because I get no break on the taxes, it's around $8,000 a year.
Wow.
Terrible. So
that's really bad.
Just about sold them all off. And then that's why I love to do mobile homes. My mobile home's like an $800 bill for the year. So they're not pretty, but they work really well.
Yeah. But
So,
anyway, no, the reason why I hopped on here, Rick, was because I think I was telling you last week, I found a property here. It's waterfront, and it has an old mobile home on it, single wide. I went and looked at it, not with the landlord, not with the owner, but I just passed by it and walked around it really quick. The mobile home is
okay.
shot. It's done. It needs to be hauled out. But anyways, when I talked to him, he said he had some surgery and that he'll be down in like a month, and that he said he'll call me when he comes here so that I can meet him and go look at it in person with him. My question is, do you think I should just call him now and be like, and just talk with him now and try and come up with a price? Because I know what it is. I already know everything about it. There's no reason to go meet him in person and no reason to wait. So do you think I should just call him and try and work a deal now?
How far away is he?
He's not too far. He's like 20 or 30 minutes away.
And his age roughly?
He
Older, younger?
Older, probably like in his late 60s, early 70s,
Okay.
I'd say.
So I want everybody to hear me on this. Your advantage in person is like 3-1. Remember, almost 70% of all communication is nonverbal. You can't pick it all up on the phone. And
Yeah.
Trust me, the phone is super convenient. And if you're stuck with that, you got a busy life, I get it. But I got to tell you, dude, like if I'm trying to take down my first couple deals, I want to put as much of the odds in my favor. And I'm just here to tell you.
Yeah.
Listen, I do virtual wholesaling. I'm at a disadvantage when I go to other people's market, and I know that. And so we have to be really, really slick on the phone. Here locally, I force every one of my sales rep to go meet them in person. I don't even care. Unless they're an out-of-state owner and they're absentee and they're not there, we're going to meet them because so we tried something out the other day. One of my acquisition people was struggling with a property. He came back. I go, dude, like that's a little much. And he says, it's a little rough. And so Zach went out with the acquisitions person. One meeting, $25,000 reduction. The guy wouldn't give it to over the phone. And so I'm just telling you, I go, Zach, what was he? He goes, I just read him. I talked to him. It took 40 minutes, but it worked. And so the idea was to teach what we do because I've learned for the longest time, I struggled to hire acquisition people because I felt nobody could do a job as good as me. But that was just a cop out. It's hard to train people and spend time with them. And so here's how we look at it. If you can do the job just to 60% as good as I can and just keep adding 1% like every other month, I'm good with that. And then once you have that expectation, it's much easier. I'm here to tell you, you are hands down much better to go belly to belly with a seller. It's more personal. You can read them and you can actually use, are you meeting them at the property or somewhere else?
I was going to meet him at the property. He said he needs to cut the grass there.
Perfect.
So
in that instance, like the old days, I'd still do it. I go help him cut the grass and just try to connect.
I was thinking that. I was thinking maybe.
You already know the answer, Jason. Go. I'm just telling you. Like I love the convenience factor. We're all used to our handy little smartphones, but they've made us like super dumb. We've got to. Especially the older crowd. They crave. I can't tell you how many old people sold me a house just to sit down,
just to talk to you.
So I had a little old lady. I bought I think 5 homes from her, and she called me, and this is the part that has nothing to do with money. She just wanted to know if I could help her move a TV and have a cup of coffee with her. I'm like,
right.
She's 95 years old, dude.
Just another person. She wanted interaction.
It's not about money always. Like everybody wants to run everybody over and do it. I'm just like here to tell you can connect with people and have a good time and make a lot of money. Go see him, Jason. Like you know what to do.
Yeah. Well, but it's not about like the convenience factor of it. I was just like, if I have to wait like 3 weeks, I didn't want the time to kill the deal, or I didn't want to just him forget about calling me. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
It's close. The property's only like 5 minutes away from me. So that's not an issue. It's just that I want to get it locked up. Like I'm like antsy. I'm like, I want to get this.
When can you meet with him? When's his first availability in person?
So he he told me he'd be here in about a month, and that was about a week ago. So I still got 3 weeks to wait.
Well, try
Maybe
to
I should call him and just talk to him.
So
Just
keep engaging him every week. And then if you want to even start with like having him give you information on the house, sometimes a little tougher with people with email that are a little bit older, but like little things like that. The old people, I don't even bother sending like electronic contracts, as if they're not savvy, you're just going to frustrate them. So find out what you can get away with them and just start asking information about the house, and then go do a little recon on the house before he gets there. So you already have a head start on like what to attack and whatnot. But
that's
I
pretty
get
much
it.
what I did.
So we were missing that part. Like I thought you were going to like meet him out tomorrow. So I would engage with him and do not wait like 2 or 3 weeks till he comes here in person. Just keep talking to him. And
so just stay in contact with him pretty much.
Yeah, heavy. I mean, see what you can get away with on the phone, but some of the older people, they get scared when you send them contracts and stuff. They freak out. I just had one. I'm like, she's like, "What's an email? How do I open it?" I'm like, "Oh God."
Oh gosh.
We spent my girl in the office. She spent like 30 minutes putting all the paperwork to deal. It was complicated. I'm just like, "You didn't ask the question, did you?" She's like, "No." So, I mean, I'm not the most technologically advanced person either. So, like, I get it's crazy
when you talk about technology. The probate letters and the mail merge. I've never done that. This is the first time I've ever done it. I did it, it was a piece of cake. It was easy. They do it on Google. It's on Google Docs. It's available.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's like everybody should take a lesson of like Microsoft Word on like how to do mail merges and stuff. Because I can tell you, I had a few times I just want to throw the computer against the wall and go, "Man, this is like." I have to pay someone to do a mail. Like there's like you get databases in queue and I ready for this. I once did a mailing of 15,000 people, and I missed it by one line in the address. And I had 15,000 people not to call me to sell me their house, to say, "Who is John Smith?" I'm just like,
oh man.
My God. And I learned a hard lesson. It was very expensive. And
but
I
you
went
printed
out,
those?
I sent it to a mail house and I screwed up the order.
That's the problem. Okay.
I screwed up the order.
Home printing.
I've done it at home too. I've done it on probates too. So if you want to guarantee you don't get a probate, screw up the mail merge. And that's why I teach people about static prints. And guys, I teach this all in mailingmastery.com. Like I've made every mistake you could humanly make. I'm going to tell you have to get it right. And the reason why, like I get people all the time, "Hey Rick, I want to create my own ROS postcard." I go, "Don't." He goes, "Why?" I go, "You got 150 grand laying around. You're going to make so many mistakes. You're going to get killed. If you put the wrong price on it, you're going to get the worst phone calls in the world." And I just tell people, like stick to your lane, like knowing what you're doing. It's so important to understand. It's just, I tell you, like mail merging, like I used to hate that. I used to have to give, like I had to do training videos on like mail merge to teach people how to do the handwritten postcard. And I hated it. I just didn't enjoy it. I'm like, because when I get into technical software, I'm in trouble and I'm done. And I've admitted that. I once created an app and a piece of software to manage all my bird dogs. I lost $72,000 and I just walked away from it.
Oh man.
I'm not like a programmer, and it never stops. And that's why I tell people all the time, I go, if you have somebody teaching you and they have a software program, run. Like it's problematic. There's no way they can. So you got to understand, like PropStream, very big company, Batch, very big companies. And so you got a little database there. Your customer service, I guarantee you're never going to get a hold of anybody because they're going to outsource it to India, and it's just terrible. So go out and visit
good thing you got Zach to do the technology for you,
he's
right?
insane with it, man. Like he's a godsend on that. So if you guys
you
ever
guys are like opposite of the spectrum.
He had a hidden talent, and I just like he's a rare individual. Like, so it's just, I'd like to take full credit for it, but I didn't give birth to him. So. No, I mean, I trained him the fundamentals of wholesaling, but a lot of the stuff is just his own tenacity to move forward. I'm here to tell you, you don't need to be Zach. You don't need to be me. Just like he did everything I'm teaching you guys on this thing. Like he just took it to the next level, and he keeps constantly doing it. And like when we talked about like how we were going to like do this, he was like, "Man, let's just help as many people as we can out." I go, "It's a freaking brilliant idea." Cause I've tried it the other way. It's torture. And
Yeah.
I'm free. Like I come here because I want to, it's not because I have to. I'm not obligated to be on this call at all. Neither
Well, I
are you.
appreciate it.
And
I
that's the
appreciate
beauty of
bro.
it. And it just shows you where my true intentions are on it. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, bud. Let me help
Well,
some other
thank you,
people out
Rick.
here. Have a
I
good
appreciate
weekend.
it.
Tell your
You
daughter I
too.
said
Thanks,
hello.
Rick. I
Stay
will do.
thumper.
Bye.
Okay, man. See ya.
Bye.
Later. Okay. I am going to. Hey, Varun, you there?
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Oh, you're doing it very good. I was like, oh, you pronounced it very well.
That's all right. Okay. I got I see Jan in line there. I see you in the car. Don't worry about it. I'm coming to you next, bud. What's going on, man? Well, how can I help you out?
Hey, you guys are doing great job. Very great job. I found out about you guys last week,
Okay.
and already getting started working on the things. I got connected with somebody in Georgia.
Okay.
They need to do how much I gave them a challenge also, 90-day challenge, and
Excellent.
how we gotta get the contracts and everything working.
Okay.
Especially how like um other people teach for sure teach wholesaling and stuff, right? But you guys have it like properly in the course. Sellers motivation, how you're finding sellers, then how you're marketing them, like all those steps. And I think she had bought some course also that she wasn't even doing this thing, the basics.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so really good. You guys are doing like really good stuff here for helping out people.
I
Really
appreciate it, man.
I really appreciate that you guys are doing good.
Okay. So you doing the 90-day
Yeah,
challenge? You want to update me on some stuff?
yeah. So found out by you guys last week on Thursday. I'm here
Okay.
in Canada, right? And I did wholesaling with somebody, not wholesaling, uh, kind of wholesaling with somebody, just direct mails, and we got a crazy amount of response. And but it's just here in Canada, it's not easy to find out the sellers info.
Yeah.
Everything is not public, no lists, nothing. Probably you have a little idea about that stuff.
Okay.
And so I just figured out, okay, it's better way to just get started in US.
Okay.
And then I have one property already here. Um, I'm not a permanent resident in Canada, so my applications and stuff is applied, and it was a heck of a thing to get the property. But I finally got
Yeah.
one. I'm renting it out. I don't have any expenses, so that's why I was like, all my incomes. I have an Amazon store. That's when I got confident. Okay, I can do stuff from Canada in US, and
Okay.
then I was finding out how I can do wholesaling in states, and found now I found out about Zach, right?
Yeah.
And then I found about this channel and worked out pretty good for me. Things are aligning up right now,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure I will make that happen. 90-day challenge, how you guys planned it in the video, it was really helpful, and I will
Hey,
make it 100K in 90
okay.
days.
You got it. So tune in. Like we're here, I believe 3, if not 4 times live a week. So just keep tuning in. You guys can take advantage of all this stuff. Like people like, how do I get on live with you? All you got to go to is it's pinned in the top of the comments, or you got to be a member of our
On Facebook.
Flip with Rick YouTube or Wholesaling Houses for Real, and it's like that's it. That's my only credentials. That's it. So don't ask me how they check it. Somebody does that behind the scenes on me, but
Yeah.
you got it,
I
Ron.
do
Keep
have one question though. That
yeah,
is,
shoot.
should I focus more on like my current market in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, or I partnered up, not partnered up. We're gonna sign up the contract and stuff tomorrow. I found this lady in Georgia and the guy in Atlanta. So he's saying we should do in Atlanta. Atlanta is like 2 million. I was like, I don't know about that, because in the course we talk about not metro city, not already high enough people. But he said there's a good potential in Atlanta, and he's
Yeah.
there to talk with physically talk with our sellers and stuff like that. So I'm just planning out right now. Should I just completely focus on US market, Atlanta, for next month, and leave doing anything in Canada right now, just so I can completely focus on that US market? and with those people get some deals done, then figure out what to do.
Well, the fact that I predominantly teach wholesaling in the United States because, guys, whenever you do a different country, it's like a different world, especially Canada. Even though it's just above us, how they do mortgages, everything, it's completely different. Like, and I've spent some time with people in Canada that do it, but here's the really cool part about Canada: it's so specialized and so few people do it. You're like a pioneer. So if you can figure out that market, I can't really help you in Canada other than learning how to connect with people. And even then the cultures there is a little bit different. Like they
Yeah.
connect. Like you go to another country, it's just a different world. Like we're all adapted to the country we're in. That's why you can take a child that's adopted from a baby from like India and bring them to the United States and they're completely Americanized, right? It doesn't matter where you come from. Like
That's
if I
right.
went up in Canada, I'd be like, although I could not deal with the snow because I'm from Florida. I can't deal with snow. So I don't want to give you bad advice because I'm outside my realm, outside the country. And I'm being honest with you because
Yeah.
it's a really personal choice. You're never going to go wrong with the United States. But like, honestly, I think you have a great opportunity in Canada because I know it's not done. I only know like a couple other people who've even like try it. I know one does it like all day long, but they're very private. They don't share it there. And that's like, I feel like that's when I started wholesaling, even though I didn't invent wholesaling and I wasn't the first one to do it. But although it was easier, it was harder because you couldn't get information. So I'm not giving you a lot of information here, but like if you can try to use it in your local market, you will always understand it best because you understand the culture, you understand the layout of the land, and you understand the people. So if you can make it work in Canada, I would definitely dive into that. I don't know about the laws and some of the stuff there, the legality on transferring properties. And then I would work on a long-term plan to pair up with someone and do the United States.
So that's what I'm thinking to reverse it, because US I already got a person and I already got your course, right, which is really helpful. In Canada, if I was talking with somebody, he was charging me 6 months, $5,000 to mentorship and all that bluff. And so I was like, I should just now I have the resources, so end up found the partner in States also who is the person on the ground.
Hey, can I ask you, the person in Canada, what's the guy's, let's just do first names because I know some people there. Just give me a letter.
Wayne.
No, I don't know it. So I know another one over there, but it's
There's another one also, Ben.
now I know Ben personally.
Yeah. So that is more expensive.
Yeah, Mr. Humble.
Yeah.
Mr. Humble's expensive.
Yeah.
So he spends a lot of time in Miami, by the way.
Okay, that's good. I don't say
Listen, actually, he's a really nice guy. I'm not a little crazy about the whole rapping thing he does, but like I met him, I think in 2016, 17 when he was just starting.
Yeah,
Super guy though, great guy.
Yeah.
But, he's gotten into this whole course thing, and it's just to me, it's like, okay, here we go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not that he doesn't provide any value and stuff. I know people who got that program. Yeah, it's okay, but like somebody who gotta start out.
Now listen, but they've already broke the ground in Canada, so you just got to kind of figure it out. Like, guys, you don't have to pay to learn everything. The idea of paying someone is supposed to be a shortcut, right? A lot of times it doesn't wind up being a shortcut. Rowan, I lost you. Let me know and update me. I'm going to move over. Jan's been very patient if you're still there. Jan, you there? I see you're muted.
Oh, hey. Rick, how you doing?
Good. Are you driving a car?
Yeah, I'm driving. I just wanted to listen in, actually. This is my first time, if that's okay.
Okay. Just promise me you won't get in an accident.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I got one quick question. Do you usually do this the same time every Friday, or?
Yeah, I'm here every Friday at 5. I have 2 hours,
okay.
And I'm here to help out. So where are you at, Jan?
I'm in San Francisco, actually.
I'm sorry, where?
In San Francisco.
Oh, cool. Actually, yeah. I'm heading out there this summer. I was spend some time on the West Coast. I've never been over there.
Yeah, summer in San Francisco is not what you expect usually, or it
Yeah,
hasn't been at least.
so let me ask you. I'm going to ask a selfish question: Is San Francisco getting back to like somewhat normal? I know it's never normal there.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I've been I don't know what to say, but I've been not wearing a mask for 2 years, but while everyone else has.
Yeah.
So
Do you know,
now most people have dropped it now.
Yeah.
except
You ever heard?
Boston.
You ever heard of a guy called Jason Boozy in San Fran?
No, I'm sorry, no.
So it's Buzi. Look him up.
Yeah, no.
Okay. He's a friend of mine. We've met a couple times. I'm actually going to go out there and hopefully visit him when I'm out there. But like, he's a really good guy. He doesn't really charge, but like, he makes like $600,000 in San Fran. It's crazy.
Wow.
He does it
Yeah,
all
so
the time too.
Yeah,
So
I got my Wi-Fi ready. I'm doing like a 12-hour per day gig work, so need to get out of that and get back with my parents.
okay, well, yeah, now you know where I am. Just subscribe to it. You'll know when we go live. And you're starting to break up.
I'll
on
look
me.
I'll look him up.
Okay. Hey, Jan, I'm losing you.
Yep. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick.
I'll see you. Okay, let's see here. I've got guys, get in line. I'm going to answer a couple questions. I still value everybody online. Somebody asked me, are RVMs legal in Florida? No, don't do them. You'll get a nasty letter and the fine is excessive. I settled with the state of Florida. Don't do it. What's up, Hugo? Appreciate your content you and Zach do. Have you ever deal with any properties owned by housing authority? Honestly, no, I don't really have any information on that. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to bring Brax. You there?
Hey, Mr.
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
I recognize your avatar there.
Yeah, definitely. I love coming on and learning from you guys.
Okay.
So I'm doing well, everything like that. A question I do have for you guys is, okay, just wait. The question I do have for you guys is, since I'm working and everything like that, I know you were working at the time when you really started the wholesale and have 9 to 5.
Full obligations, dude. I was buried. Right.
And I sometimes feel that way a little bit as well, but I still, want to say committed, determined, everything like that. But like my 9 to 5 is kind of like 9 to 7. And it's actually another sales role. Like I tell you guys, I'm a loan officer. So juggling 2 sales things at the same time is kind of tough. But luckily, loan officer is just like straight remote work. But I was wondering, like, what are some cardinal kind of rules that you kind of set for yourself to like, not even so keep yourself motivated, but like make sure you're organized and, with everything that you had going on?
Well, so the whole organization thing is, I have learned that like everyone's different. So, are you married, single? What's your deal?
I'm single.
Okay. So congrats. Yeah. Like the way I organize compared to my wife, it's like night and day. And I've learned to try to tell other people how to organize everything. It's like people are going to filter and do what they want to do anyways. And so like, I always try to focus on how can we connect with motivated sellers and how can we talk to them and get them under contract. Everything else kind of secondary. Like I'm being brutally honest with you. These people tell you like, I'll teach you about the book called Traction. Great book. But my God, like I got overwhelmed like month 3. I'm like, I can't keep all these charts. I can't keep these pads. I am an old school guy, dude. I walk around every day. Hold on, I'll grab it for you. So my son makes fun of me. But like, I am like a big notepad type of guy. Now I have some additional help because I've made some money over the time. But what I'm telling you is, the night before I put on the top 3 things I want to accomplish that day. And if I don't get them done, like I don't go to bed. Like, so you have to prioritize everything you can. I've learned if you prioritize, it's just easier. So if
Yeah,
you want to get
definitely.
something done, if you prioritize it, the problem is you put a to-do list, like 15 items long. Like you keep in mind, I had young kids, mortgage, wife, yeah, fix the car. We had date. It was endless. I'm just like, man, so somebody taught me if you just what are the top 3 things you want to get done in the day? Because people just you don't have the bandwidth to get everything done. Like I want to get 1,000 things done. I have ADHD and I admit it to everybody on this. I have problems. Like if I don't like, I'm always like, Zach's like, I'm always thinking about like 15 new projects I want to work on. And Zach's really good at like bringing me back in. So I am more of a visionary person. I have great ideas. I love to run with them. I love to connect with people. Execution, like I'm the type of guy I'll take an engine apart and I'll put the pieces like everywhere, as opposed to a good mechanic will organize everything on a shelf and stuff. And then I spend the next week trying to put it back together and I'm missing parts. And so you got to know what your strengths are. I'm not an organization guy. I ain't going to teach it to you. Priorities, what makes a difference in my life. Like I get the top 3 things done, and the sooner I knock them off, the better. Now they're usually like pretty substantial stuff. And then I'll have like the little to-do list, and then I make a note on there. And then on the page behind it, I have a list of the stuff I thought of, the stuff I want to work on the next day, and I run a sheet behind it. And then I rip that sheet off, and then I make a decision what moves on to the next day.
Right. And like I'm kind of in between because I'm a younger guy, but like I like writing a lot of stuff down. I have a huge whiteboard in my room, a couple of big whiteboards in my room where I just write stuff down. And kind of like a mental CRM, but also I have my technological side, my podio. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like being I'm a solo wholesaler, of course, but I have a few people in the area I do lean on here and there sometimes where like I'm remote, but there's sometimes I can't leave my desk per se like that. So I have people that may go on appointments for me that I definitely trust 110% to go handle some things for me. But just like that, like I said, I'm calling on my lunch breaks and I may not get off till 6, maybe 7. So trying to immediately start one job to start working on what I want. Then Saturdays I'm calling, and then Sundays like my only day I'll take a break if I'm not scheduled to work. So it can be a lot.
Listen, I get it, dude. So I used to work till 7, and then I had a wife that didn't see me all day. I had 2 rugrats running around. One of them was Zach, and then I had to make callbacks. Like I would just let the voicemail stack up, and she's like, my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm going to be in the office." In the time it was our bedroom. I'd make 2 hours of phone calls, and it was painful, but I got through it. I would get deals, and Saturday was always like a huge catch-up day. But I used to work Saturdays till 2, and I'm here to tell you, dude, you just gotta like suck it up. As far as the motivation part, I like clear direction, simple. If you know why you're doing it, it's much easier to stay committed. If you don't know why you're doing it, dude, like wholesaling, guys, I want everybody to understand on this call, on this live, you're doing what 95% of the US population would never, ever even think about doing. Like it's insane. So you have to have a strong why. My why, I always wanted the money. Like that, we all want it. So like, let's just throw money out the window. I just wanted some freedom. Freedom means wake up when I want, do what I want. If I want to go fishing, I want to go fishing. And it didn't take me forever to do it, but like I like to work. Like just one of those crazy type of people.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do enjoy the work and everything like that. And that like that's
so you just want to work under like your own terms and switch to that so you don't like have to report to somebody else type of deal. But like guys, it's a lot of pressure with like working for yourself. It's not as easy because you have to create all the structure, but like the motivation's got to be all within you. And you're like, I tell people you're one deal away from completely changing like your life. But I tell people you get one deal, do the exact same thing you did to get that deal. Don't change it. It doesn't work. And most people they think they do one deal and the whole world's going to change. Your bank account changes, but like, that's all. The world stayed the same. Everything stays. You got to go out and find more and like keep hunting. And then eventually you make money where you can shift and you don't have to wholesale like full time the rest of your life. But like when you get really good at it, I've never found a higher paying job for like what we do. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's like, I've tried. I've bought other companies. I've bought businesses. I don't want to go to work and like have 10 employees working under me. To me,
No.
God bless the wholesalers that claim they have all these cold callers and stuff. It sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah,
I've
want
never
probably
seen the
2 or 3
I've
max.
never seen the financials of those people. Like,
Right.
I love these people put on like these big events. They got like 15 speakers, and we're all like trillionaires. It's like, oh God, like seriously, like guys,
Yeah.
it's just they're very fluffy. Like most of them are successful. I'm not knocking that, but like they will tell you how they did it if you pay the fee, and then 1,000 other people are going to join you. Like,
Right. And then
it's a big money grab.
right,
Guys,
the thing about
I
that
could
9 to 5
literally, I'm telling you right now, me and Zach could make millions if we went into coaching. Why do we not coach? Why? Because it's the same thing that they did 20 years ago. The only reason that people are coaching now is just it's a quick money grab, and they're not thinking long term. They're just like, let me take the money now. Let me take the money now. Don't get me wrong. They are helping out some people. And I think most of them have a good heart. They just don't know any better. I used to be the same person. I'm not going to trade my time for money. I can help out just as many people doing this. And then I get the whole, well, there's no skin in the game. I'm like, doesn't make a difference. Like, honestly, you know how many coaches I've hired in my life? I would say 30% of them had value. You know why? Because they all have this great, sexy approach and like, I can do this. And then you get down to it, you find out they can't do it and you just move on. Like, that's it. That's just the truth of coaching.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there coaching that have no business doing it. You know, a lot of people coach, they don't even do deals. Like they've stopped wholesaling. And remember, I told you earlier in the comment, like people are retiring left and right from this business. I swear to you, like I saw it on social media today. I saw 5. I'm retiring. Yeah, you're not. Your business model's dead. You can give me credit for it or whoever you want, but like, anyways, I'm not going to go on a tangent on it. So you just simplify your organization, go with priorities, and then just stick to your why, man, because you're going to have tough days and you're going to have good days. The problem with wholesaling is like, it's like this. No coach will ever tell you that. It's like up and down, and you got to find a way to be steady.
Yeah.
Think about this. Yeah, Michael Jordan takes his shot. He gets the game-winning shot. Either he's the king or like, why'd you take that shot? That's just, at some point, you got to take the risk, right?
Right. And that's the thing that's kind of tough too. Is like my 9 to 5 jobs, like I said, it's another sales job. I can walk away with 5 figures a month, you know, well into 5 figures a month at that job too. So it's kind of like I said, it's tough, you know, trying to do another job as well that requires just as much time, probably even more, where I can still make another 5 figures, you know, from wholesaling. So
Yeah.
I like tomorrow, I want a cold call. I'm scheduled to work from 9 a.m. to 2. So it's just like, you know, right after 2, I got to get on the ball and, you know, try to get as many calls in, even though it's a Saturday, probably, you know, put in a 2 to 5, 2 to 4 kind of deal. But just got to get it the best way I can. But, you know, have those cardinal rules that especially when it just comes to follow up, because that's where, of course, all the money is.
Yeah. So just listen, if your why's strong enough, just like, don't complicate the org. I've had professional people try to organize me. It's hard. Like, it's just like, I've tried to organize other people, employees. Like, I just have minimum standards I accept, and like, that's it. So just, you're on the right path. I feel you. Honestly, I feel like yesterday I was in my job. I used to have dreams like walking in my boss's office and like firing myself, and I finally, like, I made it. And the funny thing is, when I quit my job, they begged me, and then they want to give me raises, and I'm just like, dude, you don't have, like, it wasn't about that. And I just like, I was in prison for 12 years, and I had a rude awakening, and I made a very tough decision. And I commend anyone who's trying to make a living just getting by and have the wholesaling dream. I'm just here to tell you, you're one deal away from it. Because like, I go, well, once I get $50,000 set aside, I'll be good. And it just, dude, like, I did it. I set 1 year's salary aside. I go, that's it. I'm like, and I was still scared to quit, because I was like, a paycheck it's like it's like you get addicted to it. Like you don't know any other way of life after a while. And if that's all you know, and it took a lot of people from the outside, like Rick, you could do a lot better. The reality is you've got to work on being the best version of yourself in all facets of life to truly get the best out of life. And I think you're on that path. Just keep doing it, Brax. You know where we are.
Yes, sir.
You got
Appreciate you.
Okay, bud. You have an awesome weekend and hang in there. You'll get it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Okay,
You guys
man.
have
I'll
an
talk
awesome
to you.
weekend
See
as well.
Later. Okay, if you guys got questions online, I'm not ignoring you. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. Phil's got a question. Is it easier to wholesale already having a real estate license in California? Honestly, if you already have it, just like move forward. Like don't even think about it. Just for the record, other than I believe, I know it's 2 states and maybe one other city. Other than that, you are free to roam the nation in wholesaling. I've noticed the big fear factor in like wholesaling is starting to fade because I just think people are running out, like people run out of content. So they just talk about like how they can counteract like being a legal wholesaler. And they usually have a product to sell you to fix it. Guys, I can sit here all day and talk about like the legalities of wholesaling. Is it legal? But that doesn't teach you anything. It's a permission slip to complain. And I don't want anyone to engage in that. So if you're already licensed, I don't think you'll have a problem. Just make sure you have full disclosure on all your marketing stuff. So Sandra says for mentorship straight up ripped off. I'm not sure what that means, but I missed you in the thread. So now I'm cutting up. Let's see here. That's why it's so tough in this type of business. So taking action, best advice. Okay, guys. If anybody who has not been on the live, if you want to jump in, I got some time here. Guys, I'm here every Friday night. Like I'm truly here to help. Like honestly, if I told you what I used to charge for these calls a long time ago, I'm like almost embarrassed by it. So, and remember, anybody you guys do business with in the chat, everybody's like-minded, but I don't know everybody personally. So make sure you spend the time to vet people. I'd like to say everyone has good intentions. I don't want anyone to get hurt in here. So I think most people have the right intentions. I filter anyone out that doesn't. And, Julian, what's up? Can you wholesale a house that's not been paid off yet? Yes. Most houses are in that predicament. Do I have to do a creative finance? No, it's up to you. A sub-2 is a type of creative financing. If the opportunity presents yourself and you have some training you're comfortable with, that's great. My challenge is when people take creative financing courses and they've never even wholesaled, that's like taking algebra before you take basic mathematics. It's my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right, but I've been doing this a long time and I'm just telling you that's how it works. So good question though. Now, most houses have debt on it and you want to pay it off. Okay, guys. Hey, Jonathan, did I already speak to you or not? I'm not sure. I kind of see you on here, but I'm not sure if I spoke to you. If I haven't, do me a favor, unmute your microphone and I'll bring you on. Anybody else want to hop on? I'm happy to. I got some time here. I'm happy to help anybody out. It is Friday night. We got some playoff basketball tonight. The Heat's on a roll, so hopefully they'll keep on going. So, guys, if you missed it in the beginning, go back, check it out. Mailingmastery.com. It is literally the best course to teach you about direct mailing, and it's 100% free. And the reason why most people fail at direct mail is they don't get an education on how to pull the lists, how to handle the incoming phone calls, meaning how to vet people, how to ask the 4 qualifying questions. We give everything in there. We give the scripts, which basically is a conversation because I'm not crazy about scripts. We teach you what to ask, how to ask, and we teach you. Guys, keep in mind, the way I teach direct mail is we completely flip on how we do the script. So we take away the whole price argument thing, and I teach you how to leverage it and give you a huge competitive advantage over all your competition. So I'm going to take, let's see here. Ben, you there?
Yeah, I feel like I'm coming on here a lot now.
Oh my God. Yeah. So what's going on, man?
So my deal is, it seems like it's being pushed along, but the seller she keeps on saying like, I need to talk to my lawyer. And I'm like, sure, you have the legal right to do that. There's no
Yeah.
problem with that. The lawyer like gets back to me and he seems to be pretty cordial with me. He's saying he looked over the purchase and sale agreement.
Okay.
And he knows that I'm a wholesaler, judging by the purchase and sale agreement. He says he doesn't have a problem with that. But he did say that he doesn't like it and he wants to write it himself.
Yeah.
And he hasn't gotten back to me yet. He says that he's going to write it up and send it to me. And I'm kind of worried about that. I don't know if I should get my own like lawyer involved because I just don't want to get burned.
Well, I mean, I guess at this point you got to see what he sends back. But I'm just here to tell you, like, you never want a lawyer to write a contract because remember, you didn't hire the lawyer and they're not out in your best interest.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
So look at it and you could just accept it or reject it. Like so is the price at the right point?
Yes.
So this is where we get like, so is the seller like an older person, younger?
She's older.
So it's the challenge is, the thing is you can try the technique where you verify the terms with the seller and you make some accommodations for the lawyer. But remember, any contract can say anything you want it to. Like, I have actually bought a piece of property on the back of a cocktail napkin at the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just a piece of paper. Everybody has a different interpretation. Like, lawyers just want to complicate stuff. So you're going to have to go back to the seller. He's probably going to send you like a one-sided, lopsided contract. And he's not going to like the assignability and stuff like that. And it's a challenge, dude. But like, I always tell people when people say, hey, can I bring it to my lawyer? Like, well, if you tell them no, where are you going to go with that conversation, right? You're stuck.
Yeah.
So just say, listen, at the end of the day, I want to buy your house for this price. And I can do it. But like, if you're going to give me all these obstacles to overcome with your lawyer, like, it's black and white. Like, what is it? Like, your seller has no concerns with you, right?
No.
So you're just going to have to get past them, like sending it to it. And you're going to have to come to some sort of compromise. And the funny thing is, like, at this point, you feel like you have to sell the lawyer and not the motivated seller. And it just like, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So I have some people in business, like, I just don't deal with lawyers. I'm like, there's sometimes you can do that. But like, if you're just trying to get some deals, you just want to get a deal. So you're going to have to find some sort of like give and take. Here's what I find with lawyers. If you can satisfy one or two of their requirements, they will go away.
Okay.
But like having them so honestly, I would suggest to the lawyer, go, tell you what, just add whatever you want to it and I'll take a look at it.
Mm.
So like having him write the entire contract, dude, that's going to be a disaster. Like, it just add what you want to it, because at least you know the language of your contract, and then you can see what he puts in. If he gives you like a 5-10 page contract, you're going to have to get a lawyer to even read through it.
That's what I'm thinking, is like, if he's going to write one, I'm just going to have to get my own lawyer involved. And it's just a mess.
But like, keep in mind, it's at the end of the day, like, contracts are really simple. Like, lawyers complicate the heck out of them. And you got like if they're just making it where they're just trying to pigeonhole you, I would remind them, like, the seller's okay with it. I want to help them out. I want to follow through on everything. But if you make the contract so complicated, there's a reason the seller's got to be working with you, right?
Yeah.
And what is that reason?
Well, she is a tired landlord, essentially, old, and she has a hoarder tenant that they have in place.
Dude. Listen, is this virtual or are you local?
Well, I'm doing it virtually, but it's only like 2.5 hours away.
Okay, well, make a decision. And what kind of profit levels in it?
From my like calculations,
yeah. What do you estimate?
25K.
Yeah. So I mean, if you have to hire a lawyer and it's there, or you might have to like here's what most lawyers do. They pigeonhole you where you have to fund the deal and they take out of your profit. So that's what you're going to be dealing with. That's your worst case scenario is you have to double close it. So
yeah, I was actually already kind of planning on double closing it because it's at a relatively low price point.
well,
that I
listen,
don't
if
think
you're
the-
double closing it, you just got to make sure that you're not getting screwed on the contract. So,
Okay.
like, so do you have a title company you work with?
So that's the other small problem. So this is in Iowa.
Okay.
And Iowa, I've been doing my research. It's kind of weird. They have title companies, they have escrow agents, and they also have like lawyers that close on properties.
Yeah.
So one, he offered to close on it, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that because you're not in my best interest. I don't know if I want you being the closing agent.
No.
Yeah. So
Never.
yeah. So I'm trying to work with other closing agents, and I cold called like 20 different closing agents yesterday, and they're all like, "Oh, doing assignments is illegal," and I'm like, "I know that's wrong. Like I know
No, it's just-
Iowa you can do assignments." So I don't have a closing agent in place right now. The lawyer's giving me problems. It's like I want to close on the property because it's a relatively low price point that I
Yeah.
think I could just close on it. Gets like some
So
private
let me ask
funding.
you this: if you don't want that attorney like closing on it because he's gonna constantly be in your way. So find a title company that can handle it and start planning out your worst case scenario. If you have to close on it, how are you going to fund it? How are you going to do it? And I don't bring a lawyer until I literally have to because it's just like I hate wasting money. Like to me, it's so easy buying a property.
Yeah.
So and then remember, you got so many problems with it. I would work with the seller and then tell her like, we need to explain to the lawyer what's going on here. Like, there's a reason you called me. I want to buy it. Like, listen, you got to understand. Like, I got to have some room to do the stuff I need to do. And if you're already planning on double closing, I don't know what he can put in that like, what can he put in the contract? Like, the only thing that would kill
That's
you
what I'm
if he
thinking.
did, if like he did the deed and put some sort of restriction on it, but like he would be disbarred for doing that. So if you're prepared to do the closing and make 25 grand, just sometimes you got to navigate and make lawyers happy. I find if you give them one or two things, okay, I'll do that. And if you know you're going to double close, he doesn't really have a lot of weapons if you're going to double close because double closing is 100% legal. So you just got to figure out your funding and like your end buyer and lock that up.
Okay, and then
You got it. Like honestly, I get lawyers in my hair all the time. I just and then sometimes if you have to have another lawyer talk to them, but I wouldn't do that till till you're forced to. So if you have to close on it and like your company's name, you got to make sure the contract's legit. But like you guys, you don't need a lawyer to read every contract. Like they're wrong all the time. I bought a property once and found out the guy didn't even own the dang thing. It took me 2 years to unwind it, and I used a lawyer and a title company and title insurance. So I get through it. Like it's an obstacle. You're going to have to massage through it. If it was a straight up property, there wasn't a lot of issues. You might have some issues, but like with this much crap going on with it, I think you're doing the seller a huge favor. So you got it.
Thank you.
Just keep going through it, dude. Like 25 grand, I would not walk away. Like keep going and just kind of let the seller know, like, listen, your lawyer's being like a little difficult. Like I have a lot of obstacles I have to overcome with your property. Can you help me out here? And then find out what his negotiating points are and see if you can whittle them down and just figure out your worst case scenario and see if you can do it. Because with a lawyer, you have to go from the worst case scenario and then go forward.
Gotcha. All right.
Got it.
Thank
okay.
you.
Update me on it. Let me know.
All right.
Okay, bud. Good luck, Ben. Have a good weekend. Okay, Jonathan, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Did I talk to you earlier?
Earlier today, no.
Okay, good. Okay, what's up, buddy?
Quick question. So
Yes.
Rick, I checked out your 90-day course or action plan rather.
Yes.
And great stuff. Thanks for that.
Okay.
So I'm in north of Houston, Texas. So in the Humble area. So population's like 16,000. Does that matter? Or can I wholesale or can I drive for dollars anywhere?
No, you just need one person to sell your house.
Okay.
I do a market with like 12,000. Now I mean, there's only so much, like you eventually run out of leads, but
for sure,
you just make it part of your cycle. And especially if it's your local market. So Honestly, sometimes smaller markets are easier. Like it's because you know the town a little bit more intimately, and you know the layout of the land. When you get in like the big metros, everybody comes to them. So maybe you won't get as much traffic with it. So I don't care, because then you could blend other markets if you need to add more to it. But always do the one closest to you. It's the easiest. It's hands
I'm not
down
too
the
worried.
easiest.
We have like the Woodland, Spring, and all that. So I was
Yeah, you'll
just
do
curious
fine
on
with it.
that.
Yeah, I do a market with 12,000. Now I don't do 10 deals a month from it, but honestly, if I do 6 or 10 deals a year, I'm fine with it.
Okay. So I've done a bit of driving for dollars in like Conroe and then around my area. Do I need to be in a certain like zip code though? Because I found it, so like you said, I think Rick said like an hour driving will give you like 15 to like 30 properties or whatever. I found like 3 in an hour. It was just a little bit difficult. And
yeah, I mean, is it spread out or?
I was on the Deal Machine app, so I was like doing it like, I don't know how to say the word, for lack of a better word, like accurately. So I wouldn't leave any lines.
Let me simplify you, okay? Like I don't know it. Like I know of Deal Machine. They call me every day, but other than that, it's like I'm not like, sometimes technology gets in your way. Like there's so many tools on your own phone and the computer. Like I'm sure it's a good app. Like I don't have any of my employees use it. So like, take the handwriting on the wall. These things come and go all the time. I've watched so many of these companies come and go. They try to streamline it. Dude, grab a yellow pad, white pad, whatever. Go find an area. You can look on like satellites. So here's a little key. If you're going to look on satellites for like places to do driving for dollars, in Florida, we look for brown grass. You know why? Because there's like always problems. I see green grass, brown grass. I can see where a neighborhood's moving and stuff like that. But you don't let a stupid app tell you where to go. If it makes you more efficient, it makes you better, then do it.
Well, I haven't tried that. So what I was saying was that in the area that I was driving for dollars, I felt like none of the houses were really shit.
Yeah, you could be in the wrong area. Like it's like,
so that's possible, right?
Yeah, I know. So look at the average like price median. Usually you want to be at the price median and slightly below to find problematic properties. Once you get at the average price median above, the problem is you got 400 good houses and then one bad one, and you got to go on a witch hunt. So like I have neighborhoods, I could take one street and write down 30 addresses. Like, but there's subpar areas, and I know that. So you can't go be looking in like super nice areas. It's driving for dollars does not work in like posh neighborhoods.
No, that makes sense.
Because the reality is most people put on those are the most broke people you'll ever meet. I know this for a fact.
Oh, really?
Think about it. Beautiful house. You know, the people constantly fertilizing the lawn. It's got to look perfect. They're broke. Everything's financed. The average American lives so far beyond their means, and they want you to look like they're a rock star. They're super wealthy. But when you get to their bank account, there's no money. There's a lot of loans, and they'll do anything to make their house look nice because they want to size up the jobs. I used to be that guy. I don't give a crap now. The only thing that qualifies me, what's my bank account and what are my assets? That's it.
So when I first drove for dollars without the machine thing, I was taking my roommate to some surgery place. She was just getting her teeth taken out, whatever. But I tried driving for dollars in that area because I was going to wait for like an hour or 2 hours. And those houses were really nice. And I couldn't find anything. And I was like, what is this driving for dollars? Am I doing something wrong? So, but in those areas, they had so many. I went in one area and they had like 3 trucks that were doing grass, like companies. Like it was the same company too. So I'm just saying, like they really like their grass out there.
No, I'm just telling you, I deal with real estate all the time, and I'm just telling you, I used to be a guy, keep up with the Joneses, corporate job. Like I was broke, dude. Like I drive $100,000 car. Like I didn't own the damn thing. I had $700,000-$800,000 house. The bank owned it. I didn't know. Like it's bullshit. Like, sorry about that. I don't mean to cuss on that.
No worries. I cussed earlier. Is it okay to cuss? I'm sorry.
Like sometimes we have kids on, and I really like, so I
Okay,
try to
I'll watch my
kind of
mouth.
keep it clean as possible. But listen, driving for dollars, you just got to retarget and find it. If you're driving for dollars and
So
less than
below
like one,
medium.
you're just in the wrong neighborhood. So you just got to kind of redirect. So, but guys, these like deal machines, my problem is they get you in free, and then they try to hit you for a million like upgrades, and they're the reason I will not endorse them. Like
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
So I just use the 7 days and then make a new one.
Yeah. So it's just a pain in the butt. Like I'm not like, this channel is so against that stuff. And they want to know like why I won't deal with them. It's like they're not bad people. You guys got to stop trying to trick everybody into your product. It's ridiculous. So like Jason says here, he found 130 driving for dollar houses in 3 hours. So just kind of give you a little bit of a gauge.
Yeah.
No,
I just thought I was doing something wrong. It just
no,
seemed
you're
that
not.
way.
You're just in the wrong neighborhood. Just like, but when you see beautiful green lawns and stuff like that, just get out, because it's like that's those houses they could be in full foreclosure, getting ready to go to auction. They won't sell you that house because it's pride. It's like I'm rich. No, you're broke. Sorry. Like we don't deal with those types of houses much. Those eventually maybe a subject too, but like they're brutal even on sub twos. So they have to come to an acceptance that this house is way above their head and they got to solve the problem. So just redirect and you'll be fine from there.
Okay, awesome. I'm planning to do a lot of driving for dollars this weekend. I mean,
Okay.
I'm going to do the 90-day action plan, so I know exactly what to do. So I'll come on Thursday or Friday again. I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay, perfect, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya. Okay. I got a question here. It says, is PropStream essential getting one's first deal? Absolutely not. It's not a requirement. I did thousands of deals without it. So it is just a tool to enhance what you do, and it works wonderfully, and it's cheap, and it gives you 10,000 leads. So guys, that's it today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Go to mailingmastery.com. Get educated on direct mail. As I said, I'm not here to sell you direct mail. I'm here to educate you on it. And then once you put that tool in your arsenal, I'm going to show you how you can do deals 100K plus, just like I do. Go to Mailing Mastery and get educated. Guys, go out and get a deals, find motivated sellers, and have fun with what you're doing. I'll see you guys next week, and go Heat. I'll talk to you guys. See you.